You're watching ABC7 News at 5:30.
Welcome back. Powerful Hurricane Michael churning in the Gulf of Mexico tonight, gaining strength as it gets closer to the Florida Panhandle. The storm expected to still be a Category 3 hurricane or stronger when it hits tomorrow.
That's right. It's threatening a huge 300-mile chunk of coastline all the way from Florida to Alabama. Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan to tell us about the storm's latest track. Bob?
Yeah, top winds at 120, making it a Category 3 hurricane. And not only that, the pressures have dropped significantly over the past hour now. Reconnaissance aircraft flying into the system showing it at 957 millibars. That's some 8 millibar drop in just a short period of time. And typically when you see a drop like that, the winds don't respond to that kind of drop until a couple of hours later. So we could see this actually intensifying even more so as it approaches the Panhandle. And it looks like making landfall sometime around midday tomorrow. You can still see a well-defined, very tightly wrapped eye with deep convection wrapped all around the entire quadrant now. There's still some nice outflow at the western edge too, so the the shear that was supposed to be there is not there, and conditions are favorable out ahead of it as warm water temperatures remain. We're talking plus 85 degrees all the way through its path toward the Panhandle. Some of those banding features are getting close to us, but not having a big impact right now, but could do so on in through tomorrow morning. And the top winds are the latest coordinates on it as well. It's moving off to the north at 12, and no change in really the path at all. It's been shifted a little bit to the west, but looks like Panama City could see the eye of the storm make landfall sometime around midday tomorrow, and then it will weaken. But near Tallahassee, we're expecting hurricane force winds there, possibly as high as Category 2 status, and then it downgrades to a tropical storm in the southwestern portion of Georgia, and then tracking off through South Carolina, bringing some rainfall there, but it's going to be moving pretty quickly, so we're not expecting a big rainfall event in the Carolinas, but it still could cause some flooding problems. The hurricane warnings are out from, again, Swanee all the way across the Panhandle of Florida to the Florida and Alabama border there. We are also under a tropical storm watch, and we could see surges. We've already seen a surge up to 2 feet high from South Sarasota County northward into Anna Maria Island, 2 to 4 north of that, mainly on the low end scale there. But once the winds switch around to the southwest, which will happen on Wednesday morning, we may see a little bit more of that minor coastal flooding that we're seeing right now on some of the secondary roadways there. As far as the overall philosophy goes, high pressure to the east continues to erode away as an approaching trough moves in. This trough will cause it to move off to the northeast throughout the mid-morning tomorrow, and eventually making landfall, as I said, right around noon as a major hurricane. This is the second major hurricane of the season. Besides that, we have Leslie out there, and we have Nadine. This is the first time in a long time that we've had 3 named storms this late in the season. So Nadine is a storm way out there in the Atlantic and not a concern right now. But the winds, not all that strong, a bit breezy out there, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour. We'll have more in our forecast for Wednesday and the weekend coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Storm surge from Hurricane Michael already having an impact here on the Sun Coast. A viewer sent us these photos of tides higher than normal out on Longboat Key in the Village. This flooding is on Russell and Broadway streets. Another viewer sent us these photos of flooding in Bradenton. This is at Sunny Shores Park right on the Palmasola Bay. As you can see, that park is already underwater from the high tides. And of course, if you have any photos you want to send us, feel free to send them to us here at ABC7.
Now the latest on red tide. While conditions have vastly improved along many Suncoast beaches, red tide was still on the agenda at today's Venice City Council meeting.
That's right. ABC7's Rebecca Fernandez live in Venice, where city leaders have new concerns about red tide blooms. Rebecca, what can you tell us?
Well, the concern is actually about all the fish that have been killed by red tide. The city of Venice is urging Sarasota County to clean them up off these beaches more often. This was the view on South County beaches pretty much all summer long. And almost once a week, we saw crews cleaning up everything that red tide left behind. But the city of Venice says those trucks should have been out there more often, and they just learned why they weren't.
Found out that there was a change in the county's policy in cleaning up the beach.
In the past, crews were sent out to county beaches if there was half a cubic yard of dead sea life along a 2-mile stretch of beach. But 5 years ago, the policy changed, and now it takes 5 cubic yards of dead or decaying fish to trigger a county cleanup.
Well, that's 10 times the amount of dead accumulated sea life. We didn't know about it, so we weren't cleaning it, and all of a sudden it caused the great stench that we had out there from dead sea life.
For months, residents urged officials to do something about the ongoing problem. And now some say that things like this shouldn't be a city versus county problem, but something everyone should work together on.
It's just poor communication. I mean, they should have been prepared for that. They should have been prepared for any kind of an emergency, and to not be informed is absolutely ridiculous.
That's why Mayor John Haldick says he's going to make sure this never repeats itself.
Dead sea life is caused by the red tide, but it's probably half the problem. The bacteria, the bones, and just the smell. So now that we know about it, we've taken our own course of action as a city for our beaches because we were not getting the service from the county that we thought we were entitled to.
The city of Venice will be asking the county to go back to its former policy. If they don't agree, Mayor John Haldick says they will be investing in their own machinery and cleanup crews. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC7, your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
Rebecca, thank you. In Washington, President Trump has another cabinet position to fill. United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley has resigned. During a meeting at the White House today, President Trump announced Haley will step aside by the end of the year. That news comes after a Washington watchdog organization called for an investigation into Haley's use of private planes yesterday. Haley stated government officials need to know when to leave a position. She became UN ambassador in January of 2017.
It has been an honor of a lifetime. I said I am such a lucky girl to have been able to lead the state that raised me and to serve a country I love so very much has really been a blessing, and I want to thank you for that.
Trump says Haley told him several months ago that she wanted to take time off. The president plans to name a replacement in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
The Supreme Court term begins on the first Monday of October, and due to the partisan battle over his nomination, Brett Kavanaugh missed the first week of cases. ABC's Emily Rao tells us about the newest High Court justice's first day on the job.
Justice Brett Kavanaugh took his seat on the Supreme Court today, his bitter confirmation fight behind him. With his family in the courtroom, he heard his first oral arguments. The cases involved long sentences for repeat offenders. Neither case is especially controversial. Kavanaugh asked his first question about 15 minutes into the argument.
On the Supreme Court, I will seek to be a force for stability and unity. My goal is to be a great justice for all Americans.
As the junior justice, Kavanaugh is seated next to Justice Elena Kagan, who actually hired him to teach at Harvard. Kagan and the other 7 justices were present last night at Kavanaugh's ceremonial swearing-in ceremony at the White House. Despite the divided court with 5 conservatives and 4 liberals, the justices have a tradition of civility. Before taking their seats, each justice shakes the hand of every other justice. That's 72 handshakes.
The Supreme Court is a team of 9. And I will always be a team player on the team of 9.
And Kavanaugh made good on a promise he made during his confirmation hearings.
I'm proud that all 4 of my newly hired law clerks at the Supreme Court are women, a first in the history of the Supreme Court.
At the start of today's session, Chief Justice John Roberts made a brief statement welcoming Kavanaugh to the court. And while there were fierce protests during his confirmation hearings, there were no demonstrations today inside the court. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
Well, buying a home is one of the biggest purchases a person will make in their lifetime. And some scammers are targeting clients that may be vulnerable during this time. IRS investigators commonly receive reports of fraud during property flipping, fake settlement statements, and false reports of qualifications. But local experts say most fraud starts when clients begin sending money electronically.
They change the wire instructions at the last minute and it goes to the wrong party, or somebody will send a fake email from somebody saying to wire it somewhere, and it gets captured that way.
Coming up tonight on ABC7 News at 7, we'll share what you can do to protect yourself from becoming the next victim.
Hurricane Michael could cause some problems for a national tennis tournament going on this week in Sarasota. More than 100 of the best 50 and over tennis players in the country are here this week for the annual competition. The event began yesterday. It wraps up this weekend at the Bath and Racquet Club. Most of the players flew in for the tournament, so organizers are hoping the hurricane's effects do not wash out many matches.
We'll have to do some shortened formats. Certain formats you might start at 2-2, or for those of you in the tennis world, we might have to play some third set tie breaks. The USTA and the Tournament Sanctioning Board allows us to do whatever we need to do to get the tournaments in, because we really need to complete it by Sunday.
Finals are scheduled for Sunday morning, and the public is invited to attend any of the matches there. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, scientists have found a way to sterilize mosquitoes. How this will make it harder for them to transmit deadly diseases.
Plus, the new benefit Starbucks is offering for employees with children or elders. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Chef Allen, and watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up our most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix to sample, pick up the recipe card, and all the ingredients.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American Car of the Year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut! It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
Well, mosquitoes are known to leave you itchy and in some places leave you infected. But gene editing technology could leave some mosquitoes unable to reproduce. Andy Rose takes a look at what that means.
Mosquitoes aren't just pesky nuisances, they also carry deadly diseases like Zika virus and malaria. The World Health Organization says 216 million people were infected with malaria in 2016 alone, killing 445,000. But researchers at Imperial College London use gene editing tools to sterilize a population of malaria-carrying mosquitoes. By modifying the double-sex gene that determines if a mosquito is male or female, the scientists were able to control how the mosquitoes develop. According to their research published in the journal Nature Biotechnology, the male mosquitoes developed normally, but female mosquitoes were unable to reproduce and didn't develop the long, needly attachment that sucks out our blood. In the laboratory experiment, 100% of the mosquitoes were affected after several generations, leading to a population collapse. While the experts say this is a step in the right direction, more research is needed to determine what consequences this could have on the food chain and ecosystem. For today's Health Minute, I'm Andy Rose.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, have you heard the news? It is now a Category 3 hurricane. Top winds at 120. Could get even stronger before it makes landfall somewhere near Panama City tomorrow right around noon or shortly thereafter. Get a look at some of these winds at some of the buoys out in the Gulf of Mexico. Get a look at the wave heights, too, as we take you through time. This is Tuesday at 11:30. And, again, you can see those winds getting stronger throughout the afternoon, up to 65, 72 I saw there at one point. Waves 25 feet high. All that wave action just creates a series of waves that will crash into our shoreline. So you're looking for high surf advisory. Also on top of that, our winds will start to switch more to a southerly direction, and you will see quite a significant change again as far as that sea state goes. Now, as far as the watches and warnings go, well, they're still up there. We have a tropical storm watch here. There is a hurricane warning from Swanee all the way over to the Alabama and Florida border right now, and tropical storm warnings west of that. Looks as though we're not going to see tropical storm force sustained winds here, although we could see some in some of the showers and storms that will develop through late tonight and tomorrow morning. I think we can expect some moderate to heavy rainfall at times with some very windy conditions as these showers and storms move through. Still, there's a potential, especially around high tide tomorrow morning, right around 1:30 for coastal locations. The tides, by the way, have been leveling off. So wherever the water level is now, which is flooding in some local roadways, is going to stay there for a while, too, with that south to southwesterly wind flow. Really what I'm saying is that the low tide isn't happening because of that onslaught of water continuing to pile in. Winds are out of the southeast and will stay that way through this evening and then start to switch more to the south tomorrow morning and then onshore at 25 miles an hour during the day. And we have another high tide tomorrow right around 2:30. That too could be an issue as that water level is not going to recede all that quickly as the storm makes a landfall sometime around midday. Then we'll start to see those winds calm down by Thursday midday. The feeder bands are offshore mainly about 70 miles west of us, so we're lucky in that regard. We still have a lot of rainfall, though, down in the Keys, and that's going to be pinwheeling in our direction. So although we haven't had a big rain event, I don't expect one, but I do expect more storms to move in now and again through tonight and tomorrow. And some of those storms could be heavy, and they're moving so fast at around 30 to 40 miles an hour off to the northwest that they can generate sometimes small isolated tornadoes. That still is a factor. We have two rogue cells right there into central Manatee County heading off toward the northwest into the center, or one of the bands into the center of Michael. Again, those storms mainly offshore, and they're pushing off to the northwest. And as far as the forecast goes, looks like it will stay offshore of us, obviously, but causing significant problems into the panhandle of Florida and making landfall as a major hurricane, Category 3 more than likely, but it's not out of the question to see it gain a little bit more strength before it makes landfall. The forecast, rain chances stay fairly high tomorrow, 80%. Scattered, though. There'll be scattered showers and storms throughout the day. Same for Wednesday night. Thursday starts to taper off by the midday on Thursday, and then we return to more normal conditions. By the way, the high today was 90 degrees at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. We'll have more during the 6. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. In First Alert traffic tonight, some flooding causing some traffic in front of Marina Jack on US 41, but it has since receded and traffic there is clearing up. But again, remember that there is storm surge across our area, so keep that in mind as you are driving. Scott?
In consumer news tonight, Starbucks is offering employees a new family care benefit. Workers will receive 10 subsidized backup care days for children or elders. Starbucks is offering the benefit with the help of Care.com, a digital platform connecting caregivers with people who need them. Workers can choose to pay $1 an hour for in-home care of kids or elders, or $5 a day for each child at a center. Now, after the 10 days, workers pay the full cost for services offered by Care.com. Starbucks says 2 million parents quit their jobs in 2016 due to a lack of child care.
Spirit Airlines joins the list of airlines modifying their emotional support animals policies. Effective October 15th, Spirit's new policy requires passengers to give the airline at least 48 hours notice that they intend to travel with a support animal and also provide the necessary documentation. Prior to its policy change, a Spirit passenger was only required to have a letter from a doctor explaining why the traveler had to have a support animal with them on their flight.
Just in time for the holidays, a childhood favorite will open its doors at a new location. FAO Schwartz was famous for its Fifth Avenue store in New York. It was even featured in the Tom Hanks movie Big. That location, though, closed in 2015, but now FAO's parent company, 360 Group, says new locations will open in November. 20,000 square foot store will open at Rockefeller Center. That store will be staffed with product demonstrations, magicians, and costumed actors. FAO will also open up pop-up shops across the country in Bloomingdale's and Neiman Marcus stores over the holidays. There's kind of a glut with Toys R Us closed. So
there's an empty spot to
somebody's
fill.
taking advantage of it. Yeah. Entertainment news is next.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Bill Cosby's lawyers are trying to get the disgraced comedian out of prison.
They filed a motion asking the court to either grant Cosby a new trial or reconsider his sentence. The 81-year-old was convicted in April of drugging and molesting a woman at his home outside of Philadelphia in 2004. He was sentenced last month to 3 to 10 years in prison. In the motion filed over the weekend, Cosby's lawyers asked the judge to at least modify the sentence so Cosby could be out on bail while he appeals his conviction. Trial experts doubt the judge will grant that motion.
Well, when Taylor Swift talks, her fans listen, and a recent political post by the singer prompted thousands to follow her lead. According to BuzzFeed, Vote.org says it's seen a significant increase in voter registration since Swift's Instagram post Sunday. The singer threw her support behind 2 Democrats running for Congress in Tennessee. She also encouraged her 112 million Instagram followers to sign up. In the 24 hours since her post, Vote.org is reportedly up to 65,000 registrations so far.
And speaking of Taylor Swift, we're just hours away from her first awards show performance in 3 years. The American Music Awards will celebrate the latest and greatest talents of the music scene. ABC's Natalie Brunell gives us a preview of tonight's highly anticipated award show.
Tonight's the night for the biggest fan-voted award show in the world. Back to host the AMAs this year, hilarious Blackish star Tracee Ellis Ross.
You must be a pro by now. I don't know if I will ever be a pro at it, but you know, I look at hosting like it's a party, and I'm the host of the party.
And opening the party with a highly anticipated performance, Taylor Swift, who took to Instagram over the weekend in her first ever political post encouraging people to vote in the midterms. Swift is in the running for the night's top prize, Artist of the Year, alongside Ed Sheeran, Drake, Imagine Dragons, and Post Malone. Dominating the nominations this year, rap.
As rap artists are gaining traction on the charts and in streams, they're getting more nominations.
Drake and Cardi B leading the pack with a tie of 8 nominations each. But Ed Sheeran and Post Malone close behind, up for 6 honors each, and Camila Cabello is up for 5. As for the all-star performance lineup, Jennifer Lopez, Carrie Underwood, and Mariah Carey. Plus an array of soul and gospel legends led by Gladys Knight performing a very special tribute to the late Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
And you know, so many of these artists were influenced by Aretha Franklin, who also has a long history with the show, even hosting the AMAs twice. Natalie Brunell, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And of course, that show will air right here on ABC7 tonight at 8 o'clock, I believe.
Don't have to change the channel.
Yeah,
awesome.
Perfect.
We'll be right back with more news.